October the 12th, fruits and berries. October is the month when the colour provided by flowers gradually gets replaced by the colours of different fruits and berries. The palette of colour is smaller, but berries make up for it by often being shiny, which flowers rarely are. By now, many of the softest fruits will have been eaten by birds and squirrels, who can be seen running with various nuts in their mouth. Just walking around the streets of London, it is the rowans and whitebeams that are noticed most, although they look quite different. Rowans with pinnate leaves and whitebeams with entire ones. They are both species of the genus Sorbus. There are almost 50 species of Sorbus, many of which are highly promiscuous. This explains why there seems to be a tree with bright red berries almost everywhere in October. Not only do they hybridize, but some Sorbus species have a tendency to double or even treble their chromosomes. Besides all this variety, gardeners are endlessly selecting new cultivars for bigger and brighter and more varied berry and leaf colour. Some of the more commonly planted sorbs in our streets are the Chinese scarlet rowan, Sorbus commixta emblem, which has scarlet and orange berries, the hooper rowan, Sorbus hooperensis, which has pink and white berries, and the Kashmir rowan, Sorbus kashmiriana, whose berries are either white or amber. Others seen regularly include the service tree of Fontainebleau, Sorbus latifolia, red berries with brown dots, the Swedish whitebeam, Sorbus intermedia, orange-red berries, Sargent's rowan, Sorbus sargentii, orange berries, Sorbus winter cheer, cadmium yellow berries, which become orange-red, and Sorbus vilmorinii, rose-coloured berries, which fade to purple and then white. Sorbus ocoparia variety edulis is also sometimes planted, as many believe it is the best one for making rowanberry jelly, having larger and more plentiful berries than most of the others. The berries on whitebeams are often not quite as noticeable as those on rowans. This is because their leaves often cover the berries, which are usually much duller in colour. The berries themselves tend to be larger, longer, and often covered in small dots. Some of these we do notice are Sorbus aria magnifica and majestica, both of which have red berries, and Sorbus aria lutescens, whose fruits are more like orange-red cherries. All three of these are regularly planted in our streets, as is Sorbus arnoldiana schutten, which has golden yellow berries. There is also a hybrid of our two most common wild Sorbus species, the native rowan Sorbus ocoparia and the native whitebeam Sorbus aria, which come together to form Sorbus times thuringiaca, which has the unfortunate name of the bastard service tree. In its fastigiate form, it can be found in many London streets, now sporting almost holly-like berries. Another fruit we notice a lot this month are apples, often seen as windfall beneath trees and hedges, especially around the outskirts of London. More centrally, it is the brightly coloured fruits of the flowering crab apples, which hang like Christmas decorations, that tend to catch our attention. Popular varieties with distinct colours to aid identification include Malus valesseltine, which has vivid pink apples, Malus John Downey, scarlet and orange, Malus red sentinel, dark red, Malus profusion, blood red, and Malus everus, which has two-tone fruits, rather like tiny gala apples. The first of three of these can be seen in the crabapple collection at Wisley, along with a host of rarities, such as Malus silbolii, whose apples are sometimes white, and Malus cansuensis, which has unusual fruits, almost the colour of peaches and cream. Other small red fruits covering the landscape are the endless hips and haws of roses and hawthorns. The hips of our wild dog rose, Rosa canina, tend to be more egg-shaped than the round hips of the field rose, Rosa arvensis. In gardens, there is a much wider range of rose hips. The rugosa roses have hips which almost look like small tomatoes. Rosa moisei is usually planted purely for its scarlet and amphora-shaped hips. The hybrid musk roses often have pinkish-grey hips, and those of the burnet roses are a shiny black. The strangest of all are probably those of Rosa roxburghii, which look like miniature horse chestnut fruits. Wild hawthorn berries are also ubiquitous now, and responsible for the arrival of many of our winter migrants. Hawthorn berries from foreign species in gardens tend to be much more showy, especially the American hawthorns. For example, Crataegus pedicellata, which has pearl-shaped fruits, and those of Crataegus persimilis prunifolia, which are noted for their size and the length of time they remain on the tree. Visiting redwings and fieldfares are said to show a preference for the yellow-berried forms, for example, Crataegus punctata aurea. In the hawthorn collections at Kew and Savile Gardens, it is worth looking for the rarer blackberried Crataegus songorica and Crataegus monogyna preziosa, which also possesses corkscrew branching. Cotoneasters are yet another large and varied group of shrubs and trees now carrying red berries. The most easily recognized are the cascading sheets of berries on Cotoneaster horizontalis, which is often planted beside walls. However, Cotoneasters, of which there are 400 or more species, also come as trees, hedges, and even weeping standards, as well as ground cover. Cotoneaster salicifolius, Cotoneaster amenus, and Cotoneaster glabratus can all attain the height of a small tree. Others are either known for their large berry, for example, Crataegus times wateri John waterer, yellow berries, for example, Crataegus pink champagne, or their blackberries, Crataegus transens. Spindle fruits, euonymus species, also stand out this month. They often have black or white seeds covered in orange-coloured flesh, which in turn is surrounded by either a red, pink, or orange capsule. Whatever the combination of colours, the fruits of spindles always stand out, and none more so than euonymus cornutus, variety quinque cornutus, which goes the distance, having chaparelli pink capsules with horn-like extensions, making them look like miniature jesters' hats. These then split to reveal startling vermilion fruits. Rare, more unusual fruits at this time of year include those of Achebia trifoliata, Holbolia latifolia, and Stontonia purpurea, all of which can be purple, and Decaisnia fargesii, which has pods that are a vivid bilberry blue, covered in a delicate pale reticulate pattern. The trumpet flowers of the giant woodland lily, Cardiocrinum giganteum, which is occasionally seen in collections, give way to upward turned capsules, which look not unlike small open mouths barred with teeth.